Well, if there's one person you want to buy a meat tray ticket with...
Meat tray?
Yeah, meat tray.
Go on a lotto ticket.
Do whatever you want to buy,
Just
but
buy
it with Bjorn Baker, because Ray mentioned the Breeders' Cup winner that raced in the Doncaster last week, but it was another locally trained horse that got the chocolates, Julie.
Oh, it was indeed. And I'm so pleased that we could track this man down and that he's turned up, because I can only imagine the celebrations that went down. Bjorn Baker, welcome back to Racing Dreams.
Yeah, great to be back on, and it's the aptly named Racing Dreams. The Doncaster's a race as a trainer, and you dream about, and it came true last week. So I can't wait to get back out there today. I'm already ready to go. I've got the tie on, and looking forward to another big day. It's been a big week, and no, it's a great day here in Sydney.
You're always full of exuberance and energy and wonder, but we don't always see the emotional Bjorn Baker. You were last week because, as I mentioned, you've won, and as Jules mentioned, you've won a lot this year. But when you win a Doncaster, something so rich in history, so wonderful when you look at the landscape of Australian racing.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of Sydney's iconic races. I must say, when I watch that footage, I cringe a little bit, but there's a lot that goes into it. I've got a great team and very special for the connections, and I think Randwick's, if not the world's greatest track, it's my greatest track, and one of the world's great tracks. And it was a special day, great weather, Sydney at its absolute best, which I'm sure it will be today. So, yeah, can't wait to get back out there. Of course, Stefi Magnetica, who won, she's backing up today in the Queen of the Turf, and she's probably going to have to be every bit as good as she was last week with Fangirl, a Tissue, and amongst others there as well.
Well, we'll just have a look at that Doncaster win from last week while we focus on the Queen of the Turf. Why the decision to go back for the Queen of the Turf this week?
Yeah, it's always a little bit tough, especially, I guess she's won her main target, but she's going to probably more than likely go for a good break after this weekend, and we can look at the spring, a race like the King George, possibly on Everest Day, up over a mile. She did run on the Everest last year, and it didn't quite go according to plan, so that's still half an option. But she's probably better around that 1,400 metre mile mark. And the other question mark is whether we wait for next week. There's another really good race, the All-Age Stakes. So there's so many options for these really good horses. But I just thought we'll stick to Mare's grade. It's set weight and it works pretty good for her. And she's had a very easy week and looks to have come through the Doncaster in fantastic form. She doesn't probably look the best. She's not the biggest, and she's got a little bit of a winter coat. So she defied a few of the paddock pundits on last Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't judge a book by its cover sometimes, can you? And look, a horse that's a real stable favourite for you, and it's been so good, real war horse, Arapaho, starts in the Sydney Cup, former Tancred winner.
Yeah, and he's in great order. It's going to be a marvellous spectacle, 20 horses going over the 2 miles. It's another one of those iconic Sydney races, and very special. But I thought he was very good last time in the Tancred. He did not have a lot of luck that day, and he's got a little bit of an awkward gait today. But he's had 2 runs at the 2 miles. He came 4th in this race 2 years ago, and I think he was 11th in the Melbourne Cup 2.5 years ago. So it's a little bit of a question whether the 2 miles suits, but I think he's going as well as ever, and I think he's in there with a legitimate each-way chance.
And what about Imperial Force in the Arrowfield Sprint today?
Yeah, he's in great order. He's won, I've only had him this preparation. He's won 2 from 2, albeit in much lower grade. So he's really got to step up. But he had a trial last week and he could have gone a lot quicker. And his work on Tuesday was sensational. And this one at Wyong was a city race, but he really had to work. He was caught deep throughout, up on speed, and I thought it had, even though the margin was very small, I thought there was a lot of hidden merit there. So I think he's ready to go to a new peak for me today. He's going to need to, but I think he's going really well.
Some more good 2-year-old racing today within the law and the Percy Sykes?
Yeah, and it just shows you how 2 weeks in racing you can turn it around. Jason Collett was on her in the Golden Slipper, and it didn't go well that day. She had to be pulled up out of it after going through the fence, and thankfully she's okay. And then he was there last week winning on Stefi Magnetica. So he's back within the law, and she was super this day. She drew wide. She had to go back. She had to make a big run down the outside. But I think today from gate 4, she can sit a lot closer. There's 3 or 4 fillies up the top. There doesn't look to be too much between them, but she's very genuine. She looks great. She's got a great attitude, and I think she'll be very, right there in the finish.
And so special for Jason Collett last week as well. We saw his reactions post Doncaster, and he was just so overcome. He actually had nothing to say. He didn't know what to say, but it was so lovely to see and such a reward for him. Last week, so some sales. Were you out and about shopping for the next star of the stables?
Yeah, we were so straight into it the next day after Doncaster. The Easter sales were on, and they broke all records. So the racing industry is in great health. Of course, this is at Warwick Farm where I train, so I was lucky enough to pick a few horses up. And always looking for new clients. bjornbakerracing.com.au. I've got to do it, guys. It's my job. It's my job. But there's no better time to be involved. The stake money's huge. It's going to be a great day out there in Sydney at his absolute best at the moment. What a time to go to the races today.
I've had a couple of horses with you in the past, so you need to find me a champion. So
how was the party?
If it is your job, start working on that.
Yeah, I'll send you the invoice on Monday, Tim. I've got your email, so watch out.
I'm good to pay. You know, I always pay my bills. All right, buddy.
Yeah, very good.
All the best for day 2 of the Champs, mate.
Thanks, guys. Look forward to catching up out there. Thank you.